We wanted to talk about what's in our bag. If you're trying to get ideas from this, I think this is a good place to start, but not everything in this bag will work for you. One of the things that I wanted to talk about was, how we customize our bags. This is more of a general pack. This is my Peak Design 35 liter everyday bag. It's actually been a great bag. I do have one complaint about it, and it's actually that these straps on the back, I actually think they're a little bit too thin. I mean, to be honest, they're good for everyday bags, but I kind of overload the bag. If you start putting things like a laptop and then camera lenses, one or two bodies, and it can get heavy. I do actually have a secondary bag. I'll talk about this one more later, but this is more of like my hiking bag. This is actually one from Wandrd. I think it's called the FERNWEH. All right, so I'm going to start with the outside pockets. Depending on where you are, you may actually be able to drink the water out of the tap. So I always try to bring one of these little water bottles. Additionally, this is kind of a recent addition. I don't know how much I love it or don't love it. This is the Insta 360. I love the idea of being able to capture footage all around you and then kind of be able to pick your shot later. But one of the downsides that I really have noticed with this is when you start putting this right next to full frame camera, it really starts to show. Maybe there's settings or tweaks that we can do that makes things look better. Actually, if you have any recommendations for that, go ahead and comment down below. This has worked well for us. Works great as a time-lapse camera. Interesting addition to the kit. One of the next things that I wanted to talk about is our tripod. So our tripod is actually kind of interesting. This is actually the Peak Design travel tripod. I will tell you, this is incredibly expensive. They also have an aluminum version that's a little bit cheaper. I used to not be a tripod guy at all, but this one kind of changed my mind, and it was light enough where I could kind of throw it in a pack or throw it in a bag and it wasn't too bad. Kind of one little quick thing. I love the fact that it kind of fits in these water bottle pockets here, and then you can just kind of strap it down with these little side pieces, and it just holds it in there, and it's perfect, good to go. All right, so let me jump into the bag and what's inside of it. One of the big things that I've kind of started on recently is some of these filters. This is just kind of like a generic Nisi filter case. I put a lot of the really high quality filters. I bought some circular polarizers, just regular clear UV filters. Wow, that's really dusty. This is actually a 10-stop one. So if you're trying to do those slow shutter shots where the water's blurry, a little 10-stop ND really helps with that, especially if it's the middle of the day. And then your standard big UV filters. I used to kind of carry these in the pockets of the bag. I would always lose them. I was always afraid that they're going to get scratched. I've been told that it doesn't really affect the optical quality. It's not something I'm willing to chance. I'm going to get into the two lenses that are in the bag right now. One of the lenses I like to carry around is the 1.4 35mm from Sony. It's a little G Master lens. Absolutely incredible lens. Works great at night. Works great for astrophotography to a point. If you really do want a good recommendation for astrophotography lens, go ahead and look at the 24mm 1.4, but I kind of like the way the 35mm looks, especially with human subjects. It's a very natural look, very close to the human eye. It's one of my favorite focal lengths. All right, so the second lens I actually have in here, this one is the 24-105. I actually really like this lens for a few reasons. This is actually a recent addition for us. The reason that we kind of picked this up is in the past, we've always kind of been missing that center range. This really kind of fit really well into there. I really like wide shots. I really like tight shots, but that's kind of some of the reasons I started looking for an alternative lens. The other thing is this has optical steady shot, which is really rare in wide lenses, especially lenses that are kind of wider than 24. This is a great lens with something like an A7S3 or an A1, which is our two primary bodies that we use. This is a perfect lens. All right, so I'm gonna kind of go into some of the accessories that I travel with. Let's kind of start with some of the batteries that we have. I always travel with extra Sony batteries. These are these NP-FZ100s to be exact. Great little batteries. They last long enough. I could always ask for more battery life. The other thing I've always thought about is, in the past, I've bought, off-brand batteries. But ever since I kind of switched to Sony, I just can't really bring myself to do that. Especially with the amount of money that you pay for Sony bodies now. I really don't want to risk burning up a body or burning up contacts. Lithium batteries actually kind of burn up when they fail, especially if they short out. So A little bit of risky there, so I just try to buy name brand batteries to kind of reduce that risk. I do have another battery in here. I keep at least 2. I also keep 2 in the cameras. As you noticed, this is a 4 battery charger. So what I was saying about, using name brand stuff, yeah, I really like to do that, except with chargers. I have actually charged using all of the Sony stuff, but the problem is you have to charge 1 battery at a time. Sometimes if you come into a hotel and you're just there for one night, it makes it really hard to charge all of your batteries up. This is actually one of the best chargers that I have found. I tested this pretty extensively at home, and it has been fairly successful for charging 4 batteries at once. So they just kind of fit in there. If you have just 1 battery in, it charges very quickly. But, if you put all 4 in, it does get kind of slow, but that's okay because most of the time when I have this full, I'm charging overnight. I've had a really good experience with it, and so now it kind of has a place in my bag for almost every trip. Kind of keeping on the same track of chargers, this is a little travel charger. It can charge my little Apple Watch. It can charge my phone at the same time. Just takes 1 standard lightning cable, and it works great. Along with that is 2 cables that I generally carry. If I have my laptop, I always bring my laptop charger, also MacBook. So I always carry a USB-C to USB-C cable and a USB-C to lightning cable. Both of those have worked very well. This is actually one by Native Union. This is a very high quality cable. I've had a very good experience with this. I've had this same cable for, I don't know, going on 6 years now. Anker cables, that's what this one is. I've had a very good experience with them. Obviously, none of the stuff in this video is sponsored. Would recommend. Sunglasses. Actually, these are Method 7 sunglasses. I actually had a pilot friend kind of recommend them to me as a pretty solid pair of sunglasses. I bought them. I've been very happy with them. They fit my face very well. Good experience with these. Nice tight fit. I feel like I can walk and run in them and they're not going to fall off my face. That's really important too. If you're traveling, make sure you kind of have stuff that fits you, because if you're going to have to deal with them for some extended period of time, find something that works. Alright, so AirTags. Recently these have become very popular. I like being able to find bags and stuff, especially if for some reason I misplace my backpack. I always try to slip an AirTag into one of the pockets so I can try to find it later. Same thing with luggage. So these have actually become kind of a lifesaver lately. It's really helped me find objects that I unfortunately semi-regularly misplace. These are a next favorite of mine. If you have done any traveling on airplanes before, you know how annoying engine sound for 8 hours can be. I've been a fan of noise canceling headphones for the past 10 years. These are Bose. There's plenty of options out there. Kayla also has a set of these that are from Sony. Find the headphones that work for you and travel with them. So back on the battery topic, this is a huge battery bank. Like I said, there's a few brands out there that I've kind of come to trust. Anker is actually one of those. I was talking about their cables. Recently I saw that they released this battery bank with a screen on it where it kind of keeps track of the battery, how hot the battery is. It also tells you how much charge is in there, how much it's outputting. That's basically large enough to charge my 14-inch MacBook Pro about once, or my phone like an incredible amount of times. I always travel with one of these. This is my recommendation for battery chargers for now. All right, what else do I have in here? Peak Design strap. These are great if you've got to shoot things on the go. You can do the whole, put the little straps on your camera, push the camera against your neck, and that kind of gives you a more stable platform to shoot from. It's kind of an old like gimbal, not gimbal trick. If you don't want to buy a gimbal or you forgot your gimbal, you can kind of use that. So I always keep one in my bag. This is the other new addition. Yes, this is like the new hot topic. I totally got sold on the marketing, and I'll be honest, it actually works pretty well. This is the Sony, they have crazy names for these, like ECM-10B or something like that. But this is the new 4-capsule version. I think there's like an 8-capsule version that's like $100 more expensive. But I've had a really good experience with this. One of the things that I really like about it is actually the auto audio level. When we're out and about kind of shooting or trying to shoot vlogs or just shooting content for other things, it makes it really hard for me to kind of think about like, what are my audio levels? Are they peaking? And the fact that this has an auto setting has saved my butt. Highly recommend. This is something that we're going to try out over the next couple months and see if it works for us. So there is a few things that I am forgetting. Unfortunately, one of these is this camera here, and one of these is that camera there. These cameras are our main bodies. Kind of had a hard time recording this without using them. So the main camera that we use that's up here, this is an A7S3. It's been a very popular camera for us. It's great in low light. This is our main camera that we use for vlogging, and we have the Tamron, 17-28 on there. I really like that lens. The reason that we kind of generally lean towards the Tamron is actually because it's made out of plastic. It's a little bit lighter, so it's a little bit easier to hold out. Now, if I want maximum quality, always have to go with that 16-35 G Master from Sony, and the A1 body is great for shooting 8K. So I love it, highly recommend it. I think the other thing that I wanted to mention here was if you are looking for a camera to buy and you don't really know, or you don't have a lot of money, just go ahead and put the extra money into your phone, get a better phone, and that's a great way to start. Now, if you want to learn about how to use a camera and how to use mirrorless, definitely, pick up those Sonys. They have their ZV-1s, which is actually something that we kind of started with when we started vlogging in Iceland. And there is one thing that I have kind of forgotten. This is my giant beast of a lens. So this is basically the reason why I've had to upgrade my backpack to that larger backpack. While it does kind of fit in the Peak design, it gets really heavy. And like I mentioned, those straps do start to cut into you. And if you're hiking, a 5 mile or 7 mile trail, this backpack is probably not the one that I would recommend. This little FERNWEH backpack, as you can see, the straps are a lot thicker on that. They're a lot more padded. Works really well. I've had a very positive experience with this. I've gone on 7 and 10 mile hikes with this, and it's been a lot more comfortable than something like this. This is the Sony 200-600. This is what I use for almost all of my wildlife shots. As you can see, I have a huge tripod plate on the bottom. This is what I use with my larger tripod. Been very happy with the 200 millimeters that are on here, because that can get me most of my near telephoto length. Oh, I also love this for the fact that it has optical stabilization as well. If you're into wildlife, just go ahead and pick one of these up. It works great for photo and video. All right, so that's been kind of like an extended look at what's in our bag. If you have any questions about it, go ahead and comment down below. But if you like content like this and you want to see more, please let us know in the comment, and please give us a thumbs up. That really helps us out in the algorithm. Also, we're going to be trying to travel some more here in the future. We actually have a few videos kind of planned to come out. We've got some interesting travel coming up. So go ahead and subscribe to our channel, and hopefully you can follow along. And I don't know where I was going with that. Bye. Bye. Bye, Felicia. Talk to the hand. This is our new studio. If you like it, please boost my ego by telling me down in the comments below. Actually, this took a lot of work, and I'm really happy with the way it turned out. So, but I don't know. If you hate it, tell us what you hate so I can fix it.
Can't change the wall color.
Can't change the wall color.
So don't say it.
I actually don't think they can tell. I actually think it actually works out pretty well there.
Yeah, that's more gray.
All right. That's it.